Hey Dragons, I hope everybody's doing well. I've missed you all a whole lot over the last few weeks, and I'm really looking forward to reconnecting with you as we start music class via eSchool and Try 3. In the first two trimesters, you guys spent a lot of time learning how to be a performer on the stage. Now, in terms of being a real world musician, that's actually only half the battle. The other half is done behind the scenes as a recording artist in the studio. And so for Try 3, we're going to become a little bit more familiar with what that process looks like. We're going to be using a program called Soundtrap. And now, by the end of the day today, my expectation is everybody's able to log into Soundtrap and execute some of the basic functions of this particular program. Before we get started, you guys need to know that Soundtrap is something called a DAW or DAW, which stands for Digital Audio Workspace. And these are computer programs that are used for recording, editing, and producing audio files. Your work in Soundtrap is going to be that of a producer. In the world of music, the word producer is actually a really broad term for someone who performs a lot of different functions during the recording process. For our purposes, we are going to understand the idea of a producer as someone who oversees and manages the sound recording and production of either a band or an individual recording artist. In this unit, I expect you to learn the role of a music producer as it pertains to the recording process. And by the end of the day today, I want you to be able to log into the DAW Soundtrap, and I want you to be able to use the basic features of that program. To get started, you need to know that Soundtrap is only compatible with Google Chrome. And so if you're having any issues as you try to log in, make sure you're using that browser. Once you open up that browser, type into the browser window soundtrap.com/edu, and that should take you to the home screen. The home screen looks something like this here at the bottom. In order to log into your account, you're going to need to click on the word login in the top right-hand corner, and then you will log in with your email address. There's a few different options for how to log into email. You could use Facebook, Google Chrome, Microsoft Student account, but none of those will actually work for the account that I've purchased for you. You must use your email address logging in with email here. Now, your email address, just as a reminder, is your first name last name .col@scienceandtech.org, and I've picked the password for you to use as password123. That's all lowercase. Again, your username is your school email address, and your password is the word password and the numbers 123. You'll know you're successful when your screen looks like this, and of course your name will be here on the top banner and in the top right-hand corner of your screen. In just a second, I'm going to ask you to pause this video in order to log in, following the instructions that you see here. Again, the reminder is 1. Use Google Chrome to log into soundtrap.com/edu. Click the login button and type in your school email address with the password password123. You'll know you're ready to move on when your screen looks like this. So, when I say go, pause the video, follow the instructions, and then press play again when your screen looks like this. Are you ready? Go. Okay, great. Your screen should look something like this. Now, this is the Soundtrap home screen. This is where all your projects will be saved so that you can start them, save them, and come back to them to make adjustments and refinements as you move forward. When you're working in Soundtrap, in order to get to the home screen, all you have to do is click on the Soundtrap icon in the top left-hand corner. Now, I'm going to be posting assignments for this class in Microsoft Teams. In order to find these assignments, you need to click on the Teams icon and then click on your music class. In your music class group channel, that is where I will post your assignments and the due dates. This week is week 1, so your assignment is titled week 1. When you view this assignment, it will come up looking like this. For every assignment, I'll let you know the due date, and then I'll also give you a brief overview of the instructions for that assignment. Today, your assignment is 4 steps. 1, you're going to organize your project. 2, you're going to change the texture of the project. 3, you're going to add loops to the verse. And 4, you're going to create a fade out so that your project ends with some continuity. In order to find the link to that project, you're going to click here, and that should take you to a screen that looks like this. Again, at the top of the screen, it says Assignment Week 1. And here, you will start doing that project. So if you remember, step 1 was to rearrange your project or organize it. You might notice that I have 3 sections, 1, 2, and 3 sections, with the first and the third section looking exactly the same. These 2 sections we're going to call the chorus, where the middle section will be called the verse. The first thing I want you to do is organize your project so that each of these sections are chunked together. That means I'm going to take the beat that I've selected for the verse and move those down here below all the other loops in the chorus. Now, the second thing that you need to know is how to make a loop longer or shorter. Each of these blocks that are different colors are an individual loop represented by an individual instrument. In order to make that loop longer or shorter, I bring my cursor to the top right-hand corner of the loop, and when the cursor changes to the loop icon, I can then click, hold, and then drag that loop to be longer or shorter. This particular loop, which is the drums, the boom and the bap of my project, I'm going to make shorter. I am then going to move that loop to the end of measure 8, right before when the verse starts. I'm going to do the same to a different loop here in order to change the texture even further. You might notice that when my project started, I had 4 loops playing at the very beginning, and now I only have 2. Right here at measure 3, I now have 3 loops playing, and then finally at measure 5, all 4 loops play then. To put this into your vocab, the project starts with a thin texture and gradually gets thicker by measure 5. The third step in your project is to add loops to your verse section. In order to add loops, you go up here to the purple dot, which is your loop library. Now, there's all sorts of different sounds and loops that you can add to this project, and I want you to spend some time going through and really listening to each of these before you add them to your project. This is where the creativity comes in, and I want you to spend some time really picking the loops that you think sound best. You can utilize these loops or find the more specific loops that you're looking for by clicking on any of these search features. For example, if I want to find a bass sound that fits the R&B style, I can click those, and then I find bass sounds that I can drag and drop into my project. I want you to add at least 5 different loops to the verse section of your project in order to make this section thicker than the chorus. So I'm going to do that here. I'm going to add a few more. I might clear my search window by clicking on the X here in that window. Maybe I want to find some synth sounds. Drag, drop. And then again, clearing that search window by clicking on the X. And finally adding my 5th loop, which I want to be a guitar sound. So as you can see here, as this loads, I'll explain. My project, my song, starts with a thin texture and gradually grows to being 4 loops thick by the 5th measure. When the verse comes in, that section is now thicker than my chorus, And when the arrangement changes back to the second chorus, I'm ready for my fade out. In order to create a fade out, you also have to scroll to the top right-hand corner of that loop, but the cursor is going to look different. Right now, you might notice that my cursor looks like a circle arrow, and that means I am in the loop feature. If I go just a touch higher, now I have the opportunity to fade out a particular loop. If I click and drag, then my volume will gradually over time decrease to 0. And I can do that with each of my loops individually, or I can drag a box around all of those loops and create a fade out together. Just to remind you, there are 4 expectations for this week's assignment. 1, organize each of your loops into their individual sections. Your arrangement should be chorus, verse, chorus. 2, change the texture of the piece to evolve. 3, add loops to the verse. And 4, create a fade out. All right, Dragons, it's time to get started. Remember, I will plan on being available to answer any of your questions on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 1:40 to 2:40. But before you ask me any questions, my hope is that you can ask 3 before me. That means ask 3 friends if you have a question before coming to me. I know you guys can start working together. You can either email each other, you can send me emails, or we can communicate with one another via the group channel in Teams. Guys, I'm so excited to reconnect with you, and good luck with this project. I can't wait to see you this upcoming Thursday. Bye.